So here it is. We have problems in our nation. If somebody wants to take a kneel, basically kneel down during the national anthem, then they should have every single right to do such. The reason that they're doing it is because of police abuse. We have abuse in our nation. When it comes to our law enforcement, we better start accepting it. Because God forbid, if we don't, I don't think we're not going to have another Charleston. I don't think it's not going to be 10 times worse, because I think it is. I don't think Dallas is not going to be 10 times. I don't think we're not going to have another Dallas. I think we are, and I think it's going to be 10 times worse. I'm a betting person and I study psychology. I love it. The mindset of people these days, we can be looking at a massive disaster of something possibly even worse than Nevada. But all law enforcement, and maybe even another one, all African Americans, we have a massive problem in our nation. We have to stop it. There is no doubt in my mind we have problems. And this is about everybody has to play a part in stopping it. If you're a cop and you're responding to something, you're the second officer on the scene, or the third officer, or fifth officer, whatever number you are, and you get on scene and they got the suspect in custody, but somebody's still down and they're still punching him, well, then it's your responsibility to speak up and say, stop it. It's like everybody has that responsibility. We have people who are in our law enforcement who are abusive, who commit illegal acts. And it's that simple. If you're an officer or somebody charged with something that you know that they shouldn't be charged with, then you have a legal responsibility and a human responsibility to say, no, this isn't okay. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, officers are protected severely, like extremely protected. They have their force. It's not taken away. Officers should speak up. There's no excuse for it. It's just it's not acceptable. It's not allowed. It's not enough to just say, hey, you're not going to get these messages I've received because they're not yours. They're not illegal. You have a responsibility to say, you know what, I said this. I told him to do this. That's what. This is our nation. We have to learn to fix our problems, and we don't fix them. We make them worse when we don't speak up. I am somebody who will probably always stand for the national anthem, even though I've seen some of the worst police abuse out there. At the same time, if somebody's kneeling beside me or in front of me doing it, I'm probably putting my hand on their shoulder, making sure that they feel protected. And if anybody, God forbid, tries to stop it, I will stand right in front of them and protect them like no tomorrow. And if you have a problem with that, well, you aren't American. We have our problems. And again, kneeling is about police abuse. That's what it's about. Fighting against it, saying that it's not going to happen, saying that this isn't for me, this isn't what I want. And people have to accept that. People have to respect that. People more so in this nation should be accepting it and respecting it, because we have the freedoms. Blood has been shed, so we have the freedoms. Families sacrifice everything. I cover 15 states because we have the damn freedom. People are willing to sacrifice everything. And And that's just how it is. I cover 15 states because of the fact that my family is willing to sacrifice everything. The only reason I didn't go in the military, and I wish I could, is because of my physical problems and the fact that I'm a suicide survivor, which you don't want to get me started on, because I think that everybody, no matter what, should be able to serve in some way or another in our U.S. military. But again, that's not what I'm getting at here. I'm getting at here the fact that people have died for our rights, and people need to respect this. It's that simple. If you want to take a knee, you have a constitutional right to do so, and that should be protected. People shouldn't be saying, don't do it, don't do this, don't do that. If you do it, you're not going to be playing no game. Well, if you say that, then you're not even an American, because they're sitting there saying that somebody shouldn't be kneeling during a protest. And doing a protest during a symbol of our nation. Because our nation is free. We are free. Nobody controls us. Nobody tells us what we can and cannot do. For the most part, there are guidelines and laws, but most of those surrounded by a constitution that protects lives and property. See, nobody can just walk into your property and sit there and say, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Nobody can sit there and tell you that, hey, you can't protest as long as they're doing it peacefully. Nobody can sit there and tell somebody that's walking down a road, or a sidewalk beside a road, or even in the median, holding up a Black Lives Matter sign. Say, nobody can tell them that they cannot do that, because they have a constitutional right to do such. We have the greatest nation in the world. That doesn't mean that our nation is bulletproof, because it sure is not. Our nation will always have problems, but the question is, will we be able to speak up against them? Will we be able to stop them in their track? Will they go on for years, or will they go on for a minute? That is how our nation is made, so people can speak up and say stuff and do stuff. This isn't a problem just that only African Americans should be fixing, or minority groups should be fixing. This is a problem that everybody has a responsibility to fix. And that is what it is. Officers who see another officer do something wrong has a constitutional right to do something, and has a responsibility as an American to do something. These groups, these associations that are meant to protect officers' rights, going, oh, we're not going to go to and protect a football game because they kneel. Well, wait, hold on. The idea of being an officer in our nation is to protect the Constitution of the United States on the home front. Why in the hell aren't you sitting there saying, well, we're going to send even more people to the stadium, we're going to stand by them, we're going to make sure that they're protected, and if anybody tries to stop them from doing what they're doing, we will stand in front of them. See, this is the problem here. Nobody is willing to accept that we have such a big problem, except for those who experience it. I'm a half African American. I'm also half Caucasian. Here's a question for the Caucasian people. How many times have you walked down the street and somebody's yelled out white trash to them while you're just walking down the street? In a 50-50, or even you literally have to be in a completely all African American community for you to even have any threat. And it's a minute threat. It's not a big threat, it's a minute threat. If anything happens to you, chance 99.99% of the time, nothing's going to happen. But guess what? As a half African American and half somebody that does look a little bit Mexican, or Spanish, guess what? I have been called, nigga, go home. Go to the cotton field. Yeah, that's happened. Go pick some cotton for me, nigga. A truck driving by me. Mexican, go home. We don't want you here. Those are kinds of things that I've experienced. Learn to respect each other, learn to love each other, because God forbid if we don't, all hell may break loose. And it's something that nobody should want. I pray to God that we learn to respect each other, we learn to accept each other, and we learn to accept each other's rights. I'm proud of every single member of my house, my family. They have always and will always fight to protect my rights and the rights of everybody else. If you ever really wanted to know me, well, here's me.